Hello and welcome back to yet another episode of Kawa versus the powers that be, where we take a look at what's going on in the news over the last week. And yeah, actually we don't got that much to talk about this time around, but let's get right into it anyways. So first up from the Washington Post, we got this: the days of full COVID coverage are over. Insurers are restoring deductibles and copays, leaving patients with big bills. So you remember how when COVID hit, insurance companies said that they weren't going to be charging you with any more copays and deductibles. Of course, there were loopholes to the situation, but yeah, let's not talk about those. And how everybody got the COVID vaccine for free. Just walk in, you don't even have to show your insurance card. You get the jab in the arm, and that's it. Yeah, well, that's all out the window now, and that's gone. Nope, that's not happening anymore. Okay, this is technically about the health insurance bills, instead of the vaccine, but you get the point. So they're gonna drop this now. They're gonna go back to charging because I think eventually they decided, pandemic, no end in sight. So, we gotta line our pockets somehow, even though they've already beat projections for their profits in the first quarter of 2021 alone. So they're clearly financially well off. They just choose to do this because the US doesn't have a healthcare system. This is what it is. It's just private insurance companies do whatever the hell you want to do. Yeah, things like the vaccine and how like widely available, how it was free for everybody. That is, people were seeing that, like, that's people call that America's trial run at a Medicare for all system, because you just walk in, get the shot, and leave. You don't get any surprise bills. You don't need to show your insurance card. That's it. But yeah, well, screw that. Yeah, who am I kidding? No, we need for-profit health insurance companies because we love our America. We're America, and we can do anything except do what every single other developed nation does and guarantee healthcare as a human right. That we can't do because our corporate donors told us not to. Nationalize this crap. Nationalize the health insurance industry. Nationalize big pharma, and yeah, that's what we should be advocating for. Because if we want to win Medicare for all, we got to take a position that's even further to the left of that, so that the compromise position becomes Medicare for all. That's what we got to do. Nationalize that crap. Alright, so this next story is talking about everybody's favorite president of all time, George W. Bush. Don't we just love him? Isn't he just amazing? Isn't it amazing how he murdered so many innocent Iraqis with the Iraq War, and how he lied us into that war by talking about the weapons of mass destruction? Oh, isn't that just incredible? Man. And he's just been completely rehabilitated by the polite society because he said a few bad words about Trump. I did a video a few months ago on why we shouldn't be rehabilitating his image, but apparently, predictably, nobody got the memo, and they're continuing to do it to this day. Thankfully, a couple of Iraq war veterans decided that they were going to do the next best thing, and they were going to show up to his events and confront him. Let's take a look.
Mr. Bush, when are you going to apologize for the million Iraqis that are dead because you lied? You lied about weapons of mass destruction. You lied about connections to 9/11. You lied about Iraq being a threat. You sent me to Iraq. You sent me to Iraq in 2003. My friends are dead. Joshua Castile. You killed people. You lied. You lied about WMD. A million Iraqis are dead because you lied. My friends are dead because you lied. You need to apologize. Apologize.
You saw that in the clip. You saw the crowd booing, didn't you? Yeah, boo. Boo you. Boo you for exposing his war crimes. We just want to hear him say Trump bad because that's all we care about. Man, the fact that this is what we've been reduced to as a society. I know I'm making jokes here, but seriously, this actually upsets me. Like, seriously, like, we've normalized war crimes, and we've normalized lying us into illegal and offensive wars because he said Trump is bad. Like, why am I allowed? Because it sounds like a joke, and then I realize it's not a joke. This is real life. and then I get depressed. And if you're not depressed by this, then there's something wrong with you. But without further ado, let's take a look at the second clip.
Okay. Sir, this is not the time. This is not the time for that, sir. Yes. No, it is disrespectful to the audience.
Here's the thing in America. The good news is, in other countries, the guy would end up in jail for yelling at a president. Here he's allowed to express himself, and I want to apologize for...
Yes, sir, this is not the time to be pointing out the fact that George W. Bush is a mass murderer who deserves to be locked up and rotting away in prison for life. No, we gotta hear him say bad things about Trump. Okay, I'm milking the joke here, but what else do they want him to say? Next story here we're gonna make pretty quick because something that came up today, but I wanted to talk about it. R. Kelly is going down on sex trafficking and racketeering charges. Now, I'll be honest, I don't listen to R. Kelly's music. As you probably could have guessed. But I wanted to include this segment here just to say a couple things. One, good. Hope he rots in prison. And two, I wanted to include this little bit right here. I believe I can fly, I believe I can fly, I believe I can fly the hell on out of here. Psh, oh man, what the hell was that for? Now do you believe you can fly? No, that's what I thought. You know what we do to pedophiles in here? Please clap. I am making too many jokes about a family that is one of the worst in political history here. I'm gonna stop now. Alright, for this last story, we're gonna be talking about the $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill, which, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about it. It does a lot of great things. It includes major investments in climate change, expanding Medicare to cover dental and vision, and I also say that if passed, this will be the most transformative piece of legislation since the New Deal. Now, it's not even close to the New Deal, but that just is a commentary on how lackluster legislation that has been passed since has been. But regardless, this is an important bill that must be passed. And, credit to the progressives in the House, because to this point, and I want to reiterate to this point, most of them have stood strong on saying that we're not going to pass the bipartisan infrastructure deal that was passed with the support of 19 Republican senators. We're not going to vote for that in the House unless we pass it in tandem with the reconciliation bill. And I love that they are fighting for that. That is exactly what they need to be doing. And Pelosi, surprisingly, to this point, has agreed with them. And she says that we will only pass the bipartisan bill if it is in tandem with the reconciliation bill. But she seems to be breaking that promise. She has signaled to the Democratic caucus in the House that she will move ahead with a vote on the bipartisan infrastructure bill this week without the vote on the reconciliation bill. That is unacceptable. And not only that, but this infrastructure bill, this bipartisan, this reconciliation bill is being watered down. For instance, they are already discussing means testing some of its provisions, including free community college. Not only that, but Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona, who is an influential Democratic senator for obvious reasons, is saying that she wants to oppose the prescription drug plan in the bill, which would lower prescription drug costs, even though she ran on it when she ran for Senate. I mean, to be fair, she also ran on raising the minimum wage, and, well, I don't know how that turned out. Psych! And, it certainly doesn't help that they released this ad that was praising her for, well, see for yourself.
President Biden and Senators Kelly and Sinema delivered for us. They've pulled our economy back from the brink, and now they're fighting to create millions of good-paying jobs and lower the costs of health care, child care, and prescription drugs.
Psych! But in all seriousness, Look, maybe by the time you're seeing this video, it's currently Monday night, a little before 10 p.m. They haven't passed the bipartisan infrastructure bill yet. Maybe by the time you're seeing this, they already have. But if they have not, then here's the number. Call your representative. I left a link down below to let you know who is and is not on board with withholding their support for the bipartisan infrastructure bill unless it's passed in tandem with the reconciliation bill. If like under committed, if it says yes, then that means that they're good. But if your representative, it does not say yes on there, then call them and tell them withhold their vote for the bipartisan deal unless the reconciliation bill is passed in tandem with it. This may be our last shot at getting this passed because, 2022 and 2024, who the hell knows what's going to happen. So work with what you have now. And this is the best chance to do it. So please don't put this off. Call as soon as you can. I just made the call right before I started recording. Just take a couple minutes to figure out what you want to say. And just please do it. And with all that out of the way, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see here, be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more. Check out my last episode of Kawa versus the powers that be right here, as well as my latest video right over here. And I'll see you, comrades, on Friday. Peace. Why do I always end these videos with such an aggressive peace? Bye.